All right. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, just make sure. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. See if I do this right. Okay. Oh, trying to fix the light here. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Oh, it looks so dark. Let's just see. All right, let's see. Let me just do a little check. All right. All right, everyone. Let's see. How's everyone doing this morning? Hey, it's me, Frankie B. Yeah, I'm gonna put the jams down a little bit. I just want to say good morning, bright early Saturday morning. I'm back. All right, let's see. Well, let's start with this piece. I'll go from the back. This piece actually started last Saturday. It was on the it was a sketch that I started before the Alterna In Demand rap show, and I was one of the reward artists for that campaign to do sketch cover artwork as well as sketch card artwork, and the campaign did very well. It exceeded the $15,000 original limit that they had, and I believe that it soared up. I don't know what the number is now, but I want to feel like it's past 35,000. So it did really well. And so, I wanted to show my support, that I was very happy that it succeeded. And I've known Peter Samedi for over 10 to 12 years. So, I'm very proud of him and stuff like that. So I just wanted to show myself support. So, it was a late night, as I've let everyone know that I am an early bird. I tend to go to bed around roughly around 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m., and then I wake up really early, like around 2:30 a.m. or 3 a.m. Roughly get around 7 hours. Sometimes even lucky get 8 hours of sleep. But anyway, so for those rare occasions when I go on those kind of shows at night, it's a rare thing for me. So I got on there last Saturday, and I like to congratulate my beautiful creative wife, Jessica, for making me a delicious coffee with Bailey's, and that definitely helped. It kept me up, but it got me in a definite Frankie B mode, which is it was very fun. Let's just say that it was a fun time to be had, and it's really exciting. People seem like they had a great time. I know I had a great time, but anyway, I had started this piece before the show had started, and I thought that it'd be kind of cool just to do something that's like straight out, no real much thought, just a lot of concept. This is just roughly a wild concept piece. And I thought about it because I said, a lot of people see my work and they tend to see it, the finished work and stuff, and they go, oh man, that's really cool. And I appreciate that. I think that's great. But I think it's very important for artists like myself who have been in the industry for these many years, to showcase that the early stages of our work as well, the concept stage, the stage where you just sort of let your mind flow. When I use that term art flow, I use it in a way in which I'm considering the fact of trying to imagine the brain, and you got all these beautiful canals in that brain and stuff like that. And it's just all this creativity just flowing between those canals and stuff. And that's the part where it's, you're not, since I'm a person who's a pro artist and I'm so used to people telling me what to draw, which I don't mind. I mean, I'm so hardwired to do stuff now that I don't even, it's second nature. Somebody can hire me to do artwork for plumbing, and automatically I'm like looking for reference and, getting PVC and then trying to think of how to make that really cool and creative. But it's those rare times where you can just sit back and just let your mind just flow and not even think about anything. So anyway, as I was waiting for Pete to pull me in there, I began roughing out this rough idea. Originally started with this big guy, and then this guy ended up turning into like almost a Frankenstein kind of character. I love the Frankenstein monster. And then I thought about this kind of werewolf, and I've often talked about it in other things too, where I had this idea of a werewolf with dreadlocks, because I have dreadlocks and I love werewolves. So they're sort of going at it. And then just over the week, it's funny, I had this brief moment where I thought about making Frankenstein's arm like really massive, mechanical, steampunky, weird, whatever. So I sort of did a really rough sketch, but then I stopped myself because I thought it would be really important to actually do that in front of the camera so people can sort of see how the changes and whatever. And then I have this weird character over here, and who's most likely going to be an aquatic kind of creature, maybe in the veins of the gill man, but my own version. So I don't know what it's going to be. I'm just going to just sort of go with the flow of it. But I just thought it would be kind of cool that you guys check out just Frankie B, just kind of just having fun and just sketching out. Now, when I was younger, I drew a lot of different. I love monsters, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Invisible Man, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Phantom of the Opera, the Wolf Man, of course, the Gill Man, and then you get to the bigger creatures, Godzilla and so forth. But I've always gone back to these characters right here, and I really love that. One day I will do a showing of my sketchbooks. I have an insane amount of sketchbooks that are unfinished. I'm not one of those artists where, there's artists who can do complete sketchbooks and be like, ta-da, done, sketchbook number 1. I tend to work on sketchbooks and then I put them down. And then I end up purchasing another one, and then I'll draw a bunch in there and then I'll stop and whatever. I did try to do a super sketchbook, whereas I was taking out, cutting out images from previous sketchbooks and then putting them into one magazine. And that may end up being a thing that I may eventually do down the line, but I just haven't gotten back to it and stuff. But I will definitely do one where I'll showcase some of the insane sketches I've done. You will definitely see a variation of art and whatever. My art style tends to shift and change over the years and whatever. I've always been one of those kind of people who I love challenging myself, and I get bored easy. I don't get stuck in one different thing. I'm always looking for the next thing that can kind of push my style. Now, it's clearly still my art style, but it's, I still, there's little enhancements here and there, like I sometimes get super detail. Other times I can get very heavy handed with inks. Other times I might not. And then I get more organic with it, sketchy with it. So, I go through my various flavors. So anyway, let me just stop jarring and let me just start drawing. All right. So the tools today, it's going to be, I'm using this Papermate, as always, Papermate Easy. Mind you, I have tons of mechanical pencils, so just in case people come in and start commenting about tools and stuff, on my previous video, I explained that I'm not a huge fan of that whole belief system that, the tools make the artist. I'm a big fan of the fact that the artist makes the tools. The artist controls those tools, and whatever tool that you choose that you feel benefits you, you can use it, and, and you'll grow. Your work will come out, because that's your skills guiding it. So anyway, I use a Papermate because it's easy. I'll be pulling the old Micron out, 003. And then I have a Micron 001. And then let's see, what else do I have here? I got the Pentel one here. I don't know if it has a little Signo on it, but this is a Pentel brush, Sumi brush. Not Sumi brush, but Pentel brush pen. It's really nice. Part of my arsenal. Occasionally, got some Sharpies, whatever. Have some fun with it. And then, yeah, and then I have the, let's see, I have this one too, the Tombow. I don't know if you guys heard this. Again, it's another kind of brush pen. Somewhat of a, no, not even a brush pen. It's not a brush pen, sorry. It's almost like a marker pen, but it has a nice little line. It gives like these nice little gray effects, almost on verge of drying out. Let's see, I will be using a kneaded eraser. This one's pretty dirty, but it's still good. And I think, and then what else do I have? This baby right here, the gel pen, which I have some other ones. I gotta break one up. This one's almost done. So, all right, so let's do this. I'm gonna look at my screen. I actually have my screen up, so just in case you guys want to comment, feel free. Also, feel free to share the video if you're interested. You know, you think other people might be interested in hearing an artist ranting. By all means, appreciate it. And here we go. All right, let's do this. All right, so we're gonna start out with the nice and thin. Let's see, there you go. It's so funny, like this weird sketchy kind of technique that I do. It's I guess I got more sketchier when I was working in advertising, you know, doing stuff like that, because it was very fast, like drawing super fast. You know, if I had to do storyboards and stuff like that, I didn't have to, you don't worry too much about trying, you know, again, let me be real with you. The artwork has to look good. You know, so when I say fast, but it's got to be like, you know, it's almost like in a line like of John Ritter Jr. I always admired John Ritter Jr.'s style, because he had a very advertising like style, very loose, very fast, but you can still see that, you know, see the work, see the characters and stuff like that. You knew what it was that he was drawing. All right, here we go. So I'll draw it a little light. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. So also, I just want to say that I tend to label date my work. There's few occasions where I don't have dates on my work, and sometimes I scratch my head. I don't know what I was thinking when I do that, but usually I will date my work. And the reason why, and again, I had many various mentors when I was starting out, and it's just one of those things, even as a collector, is that the value of work is, you know, it's easy to read the timestamp on it, you know, instead of having people guess what year that you worked on something. So it's just really a nice thing just to have. You know, advertising taught me that it's about like making sure that you're not making people have to live too much, you know, like they can be like, okay, cool, this guy drew this piece at such and such, you know, date, and I don't have to sort of, you know, try to figure it out when she drew it. Okay. All right. So I hope everyone's doing really well. Again, I'm an early bird. I am conditioned for the early bird life. I blame it on my mother. Southern upbringing. I probably would have been really good working on a farm, which I actually do like growing things. Okay. I also have a YouTube page. If anyone's interested, it's you know, pretty much YouTube, and just, you know, just do a search on YouTube for my name, full name, Frankie B. Washington, and you know, I should pop up easy enough. That's one of the best things that I remember that one of my teachers once told me. They said that people should know an artist's name. You know, you should make it easy enough. I mean, I suppose it can work for you if you put some years into it and you really built that, whatever the name that you created into a brand, then that's totally different. But not everyone can do that. So the thing is that it's kind of good, very professional to kind of have your name sort of easy, legible for people to kind of know who you are. It shows a level of professionalism as well. So that's just something just to bear in mind. You know, but again, it's your choice too. You know, you can do anything you want to do. You know, I've always said like this. Look, you have to follow your own system of work ethic and stuff like that. You know, all somebody can do is just sort of tell you things, and then you got to sit back and sort of process it and say, okay, am I down for this or not? You know, if this doesn't work for me, then it doesn't work for me. You know, there's many times I've had people tell me a bunch of different things, and a lot of it didn't pan out, and I had to kind of, you know, I had to sort of, you know, listen to some things, and I took what I needed, and then learned other things on my own, you know, and then trial and error, you know. That's how it is sometimes. So anyway, I just want to just reiterate that I started this image last Saturday. This was like a sketch that I was working on before I went on the Alterna Comics In Demand wrap-up show last Saturday night, and I sat there and I was thinking, I said, man, you know, I think I'm gonna do another live stream on Facebook, and what should I be drawing? And then, you know, again, I was like, oh man, maybe I should do something that's big, you know, so sort of like the Godzilla, the G14 and the Marvel Godzilla piece, which is fun, but it's a really big piece. And then I looked at this piece that was sort of sitting over there looking all lonely, and I said, you know what? Why not just show this? Why not show this side of it? You know? I think sometimes people kind of, you know, they think that, oh man, you know, Frank loves monsters, and of course I love monsters and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I love drawing other different things too. You know, I've drawn superheroes, I've drawn zombies and monsters, I've drawn cowboys. You know, I've drawn just about every little thing you can think of. I've drawn food, yeah. I've had to draw. I remember I worked on a campaign. I worked on a Wendy's campaign. I remember that, and I had to draw like hamburgers and stuff, and I remember using marker. I don't know if let me recall. At that time, it might have been digital coloring, Photoshop coloring. I don't know. I feel like I might have did it twice. I think I did one where I had to use markers, and I had to do, and then did it once where it was like Photoshop coloring, but to sort of make the food look really enticing and everything. Oh man, that was insane. That was definitely a challenge, but you know, that's how the business is. All right. So today is just pretty much me just, you know, just sketching and having fun, and not getting bogged down into too much seriousness with the artwork, you know. I used to do this when I was a kid. You know, I remember one of my mentors once told me that. They said, you know, try to shut your brain off, that professional side of your brain where it's constantly, you know, on the go, thinking of like, oh, you got to do all this crazy, you know, detailed things, and everything's got to be on point and all this stuff. And he just said, shut that side down, and try to remember when you were a kid. What did you feel when you were drawing? As a kid, I just sort of went with the flow of it. I didn't think too much about it. I just was like, oh, that looks cool. That looks cool. Okay, I'll put that in there, whatever. So we'll throw some more wires and stuff. Again, I'd like to just thank everybody for coming along for the ride to check this out. If you are a fellow artist, please feel free to comment. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I'm very happy to see so many fellow artists out there, you know, doing their thing, surviving. It's always a good thing. I've always felt like, look, there's always room, you know. The key thing is just making sure that we, as artists, we keep the standards high. You know, the thing is that we got to keep the standards high, so that the artwork, you know, the visual stuff is strong. You know, we don't want substandard stuff put out there. We want the best of the best. You know, when I look at, you know, stuff by Alex Ross, I'm like, oh my God, you know. But in my heart of heart, I'm sure Alex Ross understands too. There's probably the future Alex Ross in the wings sitting somewhere, waiting to do something that's going to be unbelievable. Oops, excuse me a second. Ugh. This freaking chair. Ugh. It's doing the whole like lowering down slowly. I'm going to refresh my page a little bit. I can't tell if anyone has commented, but you know, please feel free to comment. I won't bite, promise. Let's see. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Let's see. And I know it's early, guys. I don't know why. It just was like, you know, one of the things about me, I'll be honest with you, is that I'm very, you just don't know. I'm a very unorthodox kind of person. I like to, you know, I just sort of go with the flow of things. So, you never know when I'm going to pop one of these up and stuff. But when I do, you know, let's have a good time. I definitely want to thank everyone for the love that I received for the Godzilla piece, and then finally the call to calling all monsters. Hey Adrian, thank you, man. Thanks for the love, brother. Thank you. Because I'm saying that right. Yep, Adrian. Yeah, man. Thank you so much. I want to just thank everybody for, you know, really pushing me to complete that piece. You know, I truly wasn't gonna. I mean, I'm being straight up with you. I was not thinking about finishing that piece. I really was like, it's done. Usually, I'm not a big fan of revisiting pieces. I'm like, once you bless it, it's done kind of mentality. But people were really, you know, pushing. So, and I'm very happy. You know, it made me get off my butt and to really, you know, finish it and take it down the final journey. So, I'm very happy. So again, thank you so much. Much respect and the love. You know, man. I really respect the fact that people just coming out and just, you know, tell me if they enjoy it and whatever, and that it's inspiring people as well. You know, that's the whole point. Like, you know, I didn't just get here. You know, I've been working at this for 30 years, man. You know, I'm very blunt and honest with any people, any artists that contact me. I'm like, look, you know, the reality is that it's going to be a tough battle when you're going up against people that have already been in the industry. But that's what I felt when I went into the industry, and I didn't have an internet at the time. There was no internet when I first was really out there starting out. I had to literally go to agencies and have doors slammed in the face. Well, you know, not too many doors slammed in the face, but you know, you didn't get callbacks and stuff, and you know, and I had to deal with that. Whereas now, you know, think about it. You know, I've had the chance to do work with people, you know, from overseas in the East and, you know, in other countries and stuff like that. I mean, it's mind blowing. All just, you know, by the computer. So it's mind blowing to me. It's like, you know. So I'm like, hey, there's no excuse for not getting out there and making things happen. You can make it happen. You know, you can do it. All right. So this is my just chill out, doing a crazy piece day. I know people are gonna ask, I have no name for these characters. I'm just drawing them and then seeing where it takes me. You know, this whole big robot arm thing came out at the last minute, like during the week, and then I stopped myself because I decided to go ahead and do this live stream and stuff this weekend. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. I keep having this weird idea of like this a dreadlock werewolf. It's been permeating my thoughts a lot. I actually did a kaiju, a giant kaiju werewolf creature with dreadlocks. It was supposed to be. I don't know if it was like a pinup. I think it was a pinup for some book. I don't even know if the book ever. I think that, yeah, the book got published. Yes, but so definitely this concept has been sticking in my head a little bit, permeating my consciousness. All right. All right, I can put some more dreadlocks in his head. It's killing me. Now, when I draw dreadlocks, I kind of just, I think of my own, and I just think of these crazy, like, jangle mess of hair. Just, I have like a massive tail dreadlock. It's crazy. Just as always, like, she's like, oh my God, they're all merged together. I'm like, yeah. It's funny too, because I've always wanted to have like an afro, but I can never grow an afro, like a fat, big, freaking afro. And my hair doesn't do that, but my hair can grow dreads. I'm meant to have dreads. So there you go. There you have it. It's like, nope, you're meant to have dreads, brother. All right. And then, as I hope that this day is starting off great for you. Oh, thank you, Adrian. Oh yeah. I definitely I love a lot of that stuff that came out of Britain. Yeah. It's the old school, just insane amount of I love Simon Beasley's work, and back in that time, you had a lot of like just pen and ink work, man. Really intense pen and ink work. I mean, whew, you look at it and going, oh my God. But I love that stuff. There you go. And I love that too. Like when you do dreadlocks, like for me, I love just drawing every little ink, little bit one, and do them all different. And there's nothing really perfect about it. It's just drawing it really crazy and stuff. For any would-be artists out there, I would suggest that you do have those moments when you just do concept art. I just saw was it Jeff Zorno? Jeff Zorno. He's a pretty well-known artist and stuff who worked on some IDW Godzilla and stuff like that. He posted a character sheet that he did when he was younger on Twitter, man, and I congratulated him on it. I congratulate him on the level of just showing like a fully rendered like concept sheet, especially at such a younger age when he had done it, and the fact that it was really thoughtful. Like he did front, back, I think side. He did close up of the character. I mean, those are the things when I see people showing character sketches and things like that, and I only see one image. Yeah, I kind of go, ooh, you need more. You need more to really show who or what this character is. So just remember, when you do character concept stuff, feel free. To me, there are multiple images. Really good concept artists will not just draw one big static image of a character just doing a pose. Real good solid artist is going to draw a bunch of multiple images. Close up of the character, maybe they're close up with their eye, maybe showing a few little just rough action scenes to show the character has, I don't know, whatever attribute or whatever you want to add to the character, super strength, speed, or whatever. They'll do front, back, side. These are all important things. I always say that if you can get the concept artwork out the way, it's fantastic. It's great to have that. Just in case, even if the artist who does the concept work, you don't choose to work on your comic book story or whatever, at least you'll have something that's pretty solid for the next artist to work off of. Although I always find it odd when someone only hires somebody to do an artist for one thing and then they don't consider the artist for something else on their book, just to sort of keep the consistency. For me, it's odd, but I get it. Everyone's got their thing, man. So I'm very old school, especially with comic books. Like I love when comic books, when you see the artists who work on the cover, but then it also translates, it transitions also into like the actual into the story, into the comic book story when you open the pages. So it's like a continuation. So the cover is literally pulling you in to something that's possibly going on inside. And they may tweak the cover. They'll tweak the cover a little bit just to just to pull you in. But then you go in and you see another scene, but the scene may be somewhat different. Just a little though, a little different. I love that. Whew, look at this guy. I think the werewolf stuff sort of kicked in a lot more for me when I had the chance to do a pinup for Sergeant Werewolf by Rich Wardall. Rich is an old friend of mine up here in the Northeast and stuff, and it's a cool character, and I had a chance to do a pinup for that character, and very honored. And that really kicked it in for me too. Someone once asked me about werewolves, and I was like, I think it's really the transformation. I don't know. I love the sense of the transformation, the ability to just sort of let yourself go, and not that fear of just of whatever, like people judging you or whatever. It's just that you just let go and you don't care. I think for me, the nature of the werewolf is what I'm drawn to. All right, so let's see. So he's pushing this guy back, There you go. How's that looking? Let's clean that up, that little leg right there. Throw a little bit in there. All right. Do some cross hatching. I am very happy to see a lot of artists starting to embrace cross hatching. You're starting to see it come back, and I think that's amazing. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think I'm gonna throw some pants on this werewolf. I don't know, something about that I really like. The torn pants kind of thing. It's really cool. I mean, although I have no problem with the totally naked werewolf running around, because it kind of makes more sense. But something about the wolf man having pants on, or some werewolf having pants on, is really cool to me. All right. Adrian, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, see, again, when you start working in the pencil, maybe I'll pull up the pencil a little bit so you guys can see me doing a little bit of some pencil work. I originally was trying to rough this out. I go through these phases where I look at it and I go, oh, that looks a little off. So I tend to do a little bit of gestural. This was a huge thing that helped me in school, because when I talk and I tell you guys about stuff, I get it, because I was at that stage too in my life where, when I first was doing a lot of drawing stuff before I went to art school, I was kind of, like, oof. I wanted everything to look perfect and finished and everything like that, and then once I went to art school, it was like, no, you got to get to, art school and also into animation. I think those both were two really helpful moments of my life in my career as an artist. The fact of, you get into gestural and really freeing yourself. So extend that down a little bit. There you go. God, I love these pencils. I've always been a big fan of more softer lead. Some people love like the harder lead, but I think, what is it, a B? I think I've always loved the more softer thing, just because it just adds that nice little shading in there and stuff like that. I will say it is a pain when it comes to erasing, but that's a given. All right. Hope everybody's doing pretty good. Let's see. I think I don't know, it's gonna be time for a nice water break. Get some water in my system. Stay hydrated. And all right, let me just get this car up in here. Wow. All right. All right, let me grab a little drinky drink. I'm gonna do a little refresh. All right, so it's 8:09. Let me show you guys everything. Thank you again, Adrian. Man, showing the love early in the morning. Nice. All right, let me bring this up a little bit. All right, cool. Now, let's see. It's gonna come a point where I'm probably gonna erase a little bit so we can see what we're working with here. I can add a little stuff in there. I'm gonna go with a little heavier line now. And so the idea is that he's kind of this weird, super powerful steam arm kind of going off, and then we'll just have it trailing off the page. Now, also I forgot to add that this is a comic book board. So this would be like the boards that I would, if I was to do like a con sketch or something on. This is pretty much what this is. I'm one of those people, I hate throwing away stuff. I don't. I always feel like you can recycle something. So I have all kinds of different pieces of paper around and stuff like that, and I find use. It's just like when I was talking on the Calling All Robots piece. Oh my God, what a pain! It's a lovely piece, but what I did was I drew it on a 14 by 17 cold press, which is a nightmare. In my thought, when again, it's been 7 years since I've drawn that piece. I honestly think that it was just a piece. I wanted to do this really massive piece, and I think I had a piece of paper, a 14 by 17 lying around, and I just said, oh, screw it, I don't want to waste it, I'll just do it then. And I think back then, I might have struggled a little bit with the toothiness of the paper, but think of it, 7 years later, trying to work on that stuff now. It's just, it eats up ink. I'm more into like a nice hot press kind of stock of paper. All right. So yeah, when I originally was doing this sketch, this concept and stuff, I just was I didn't know what was going to happen, and then all of a sudden I started thinking of like, maybe running near a brook or stream or whatever. That's where the concept's sort of taking me now. Let me just bring it over here so you guys can see. Yeah. All right, there you go. This guy's running at full tilt. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna break out my the Pentel. Start hitting some big swatches of nice black. So do a little couple of drags, see what happens. Yeah. All right. All right. So let me just draw a little bit of black water over there. Make sure you guys are seeing it. And again, I hope you're waking up and it's a beautiful day. And it's Saturday. It's actually beautiful out here. The sun's shining. I want to thank you for joining me on this fall fall day morning drawstring. Yeah. And earlier on, I was explaining that this piece was one that I started last Saturday on the Alterna Comics wrap-up party for their In Demand campaign, and I'm actually one of the artists that was part of their campaign. Whereas I was going to be doing some commissions on sketch covers and sketch cards. So I'm just waiting to hear how many I have to work on. So looking forward to that. You know. I'm just glad that there are people that really truly appreciate original artwork. I've always said that original artwork has so much value. I'm always really amazed at people that if you're not, if you watch the Antique Roadshow, and you see like people finding artwork, man, and they wouldn't even know what it was. They just were like, oh yeah, I had this outside my bathroom, and it's like this piece is worth millions of dollars, by this artist that, maybe even an obscure artist. But collectors really, they dictate really, the demand for something in a certain degree. So to me, I look at artwork and artwork such a value. Just the crazy part is that you just don't know where an artist is going to be, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Who knows? You don't know. But just like me, I've had opportunities to get artwork from people, and I kick myself for not getting that artwork when I did at the time. Oh, it's so painful. All right, so this guy right here is getting pushed, right? So I'm thinking that the idea, right, that I'm going with is that this guy was leaping out, and then this guy caught him in mid-leap and ran him down. So the earth is like pretty much shattered. So it's like boom. I want to show like it's literally crumbled earth. So you get a sense of the power. That's where I'm going. And I tend to draw flakes of debris and everything in between on the muscle, so you get a sense that it's part of it. Yeah, pieces that sort of falling off. All right, let's see. And this is what happens with me when I work on pieces like this, and I'm just really just having fun and just going with it. This is how I end up getting those super detailed things. Yeah, because then I don't know when to stop. I just be like, oh my God, I gotta add this in there and whatever. And he's got a third eye, and tentacles can come out his back, and then they get obnoxious. Yeah, because then I'm just having fun. I'm going back to that childhood where there was no restraint on the creative mind. The subconscious mind just kind of flowing. Interesting. Yeah. I'll probably break out my smaller one, 003. Kind of adding a little bit more detail in there, But yeah, just pieces, and then pieces sort of dropping in. So I think all that stuff. I think it's stuff where like you got drops, pieces of rock falling into the water, and then the idea is that it's disturbed something over here. This gill man in my version. One of the most amazing characters, by the way. I just wanted to tell you that. I know that I saw one. They were working on a proposed gill man, a Creature from the Black Lagoon remake and stuff. And some of the designs from it were pretty intense. I mean, I was like, whoa, this is amazing. So let's see. I've always loved the Gill Man. I own them. Yeah, it's a really cool character. Just the idea of like this subspecies of human off the evolutionary line and stuff is really cool to me. All right, I'm gonna go with because I can. I'll go with a Sharpie on this one. And the thing is that I'm drawing on the back of a 11 by 14 Bristol paper pad. It's just great, you know. I will say that I'm not one of the most clean artists. You know, there's artists who are just like, sometimes they'll post in their workspaces, meticulous, it's like clean. I'm not like that. I am hardcore, messy. My creativity is born in chaos. So I just draw that stuff in there. Yeah. And draw this stuff. Okay. All right. Let me get the starting of that tree. And you know, and stuff like this, what I do is I just sort of lay it out rough, just have fun with it. So ideally, what's going on is that the force has literally broken some of this ground and whatever, because he slammed them down. So actually, what I may do is I may draw some little, you know, some arrows and stuff, you know, direction lines, excuse me, just to show like you just like boom. But therein, that's why I love werewolves, because they're so resilient. Like, you know, they got that healing factor or whatever, the mystical. So they can take a beat down, you know, similar to like Frankenstein. You know, like if I was to do it, that's the whole point. Like I don't know if, I'm sure many of you've seen Monster Squad, and I love the scene where yeah, I think it wasn't the Wolfman. Was it the Wolfman who got blown apart, and then also you see the pieces just scurry back together? I thought it was the most amazing thing. I was like, whoo, that was incredible. I said, you know what? Let me hook these eyes up. I don't like these eyes. Yeah, I'm getting dry on this, so I'm just gonna go crazy with it. Yeah, how you like that? How you like me now? Just try a little crazy, like you just like drooling and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. They're like, oh, Frank lost it. I do sound effects. I do. It always just shock me if there's no artists that don't actually make sound effects when they're doing this stuff like this. You know, like you want to like I think of the artists that work on like Star Wars, and they're working on like a TIE fighter or something. And all of a sudden they don't, in their head, they're thinking of the sound of it and stuff, and all of a sudden it just comes like, I can't even do the sound, man. We just finished watching The Mandalorian, the recent one. They had those TIE fighters. Oh man, something about those sounds, man. It's really cool. I just love it. It just sounds painful. I don't know, I like pain and agony. I listen to those things. Yeah, it just sounds like something wailing. It's really intimidating. I have to say, and again, I'm more of a Star Trek person, and I finally we have gotten into watching Discovery, and then we finished watching Picard, which was I literally cried at the end. It was crazy. Like it took me back to Next Generation and stuff like that. It was beautiful, and I'm so happy to hear they get another season. Can't wait to see it. But Jessica is she's more Star Wars. You know, like I enjoy Star Wars, or enjoyed Star Wars when I was younger, but I never had that same appeal to me like Star Trek. But I tell you, man, the stuff they're doing now, oh, I love it. I love it. It's really made me really like the franchise a lot more. I love what they're doing. And the level of, especially with The Mandalorian, the level of comedy, like the humor that they're putting in there is just really well done. You know, I think they dialed it in, and I love it. And they've created some really, engaging characters. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna draw some earth over here. So it's almost like he just hit it, like boom. I want to thank you again for any new people, new folks checking it out. I think Adrian's the only one responding, so please feel free to respond. Whatever. Share your thoughts. If you're an artist, please chime in. Let us know if you're an artist. Or let me know. Well, let us all know, the people who are watching as well. I think one of the things about us artists now is that we really have to get keyed into the technology of the internet. I think that's something that I've learned in the last few years, that you really got to get keyed into it. I don't think you need to be a huge expert on it, because clearly I think everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses and stuff. But I think to some degree you really have to at least be somewhat knowledgeable of it so that you can utilize it to its full potential. The strongest thing that we artists have, in trying to, a tool in trying to get people to look at our work, because let's be honest, that's what any artist wants. That you want people to be able to look at your work, and I don't know. For me, it's never been like a sense of fanfare or anything like that. I think I've been in the business for so long where I look at it as it's my career, and that it's my livelihood. So you have that aspect of it, and also there's the aspect of that it fulfills that part of me, that childhood side of me, where of just being able to draw really cool, fun things and stuff, and getting that high from that, and then getting an additional high because there are actually people out there who actually are like, yo, man, I dig this. I dig what you did there. I like that. I love that. I love the rush of that. All right. Oh, man. Whew. I hope you guys are still there. This piece is a really crazy detail piece. And yeah, I know that it's not something that is, really known characters or whatever, but it's okay, Sometimes I have to remind myself that that I also have created stuff. I've been a creator, me and James Biggie worked on a character called Robot God Akamatsu, who had a lot of fanfare. There's still people that still talk about Robot God Akamatsu, excuse me. And those fans are so passionate about it, and they definitely have kept the fires burning for Robot God Akamatsu. And so that to me makes me feel really good. It makes, and hopefully I'm sure it makes James feel good as well. The fact that people really tuned in and tuned in to what we were going for and stuff. I'm glad that I'm happy with what we did with Robot God Akamatsu. We talked about doing a part 2 of it, and I actually started some early work on it. But again, the toughest thing with being a working artist is that it definitely can detract you from a lot of different things, because the key thing is that like I said, survival. Unfortunately, Robot God Akamatsu does not equate survival in the sense of financial growth. It was a dream, And unfortunately, if the dream can't, cover the rent, then you have to start making hard decisions. But for that short amount of time, I would say we really reached our apex 2012 and 2013, and then heading a little bit in 2014. We really reached the apex. We had tons of interviews, and we did things. I like to shout out to Connie, who actually built a cosplay of Robot God Akamatsu, and we were the mascot for the very first Rhode Island Comic-Con in Rhode Island. Could you imagine going into a con and you see your character on all the banners and stuff? It's just mind-blowing. I still have like pictures of that. It's just crazy, So we had a great year. We Robot God Akamatsu appeared on the cover of The Dig, which was a really popular magazine in Boston. So we had a good run, man. I could not say anything else. It was really, really amazing. And so he still exists, Me and James talked about it. The dream, I guess, for both of us, if like somebody big, somebody who actually has some pull or power, could literally come along and be like, all right, this is what we could offer to make this thing happen. Would you guys be along for that? That would be a dream. That's a nice dream, huh? All right. Look at you, man. Aren't you a hairy something? I'm going nuts here, folks. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. This is Frankie B going crazy, like doing extra stuff, and his hair is all crazy, and he's mad, and his eyes all nutty. All right, I'm gonna do the other leg. And this is where it gets tricky. This is what I tend to do. Well, what I do is I'm gonna grab this pencil, and it's always tricky trying to think how a body is. Like this is a weird kind of contorted thing. His body is really short and sort of, it's a lot of foreshortening going on and stuff like that. So I literally in my mind have to try to think of how to lay things out. Now originally I had this leg sticking out here, but clearly I was demented at the moment. So I'm going to stretch that leg out there. So I'm going to try to think from here. That's his butt. And then try to extend. I'm going to try to play with it. And then extend it a little bit. Cheat it. Have some little cheating. So you got this calf right there. It's almost like the mechanics of it. And then extend it so it's kind of, and get that right there, the heel. And then stretch it out. So, and then have it like it's kind of, splayed out a little bit, the toes. Yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough sometimes to draw these characters in there. Yeah. Especially when you're drawing like elongated foot and stuff. Alright, let's add a little bit more line weight on this right here. Just kind of break it out a little bit. Once I clean it up, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna really use my smaller one to put some nice little detailed lines in there and stuff. Messy it up a little bit. But yeah. I'm so happy to see so many people that are up and stuff. Oh, nice. I got 5 likes. Actually, maybe I should refresh my screen a little bit. There you go. Don't worry, I'm going to pull it over this side soon enough. But for now, we're going to work on this side right here. All right. Let's see. I'm going to refresh my screen. Sorry about jostling the table a little bit. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. Okay, there you go. It's pretty crazy. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, I'm bringing the table this back. He's looking crazy, huh? I love the whole white eye thing. I really do. It just looks more creepier. Okay, thicken those legs a little bit. Some stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna draw like a bunch of different little swords and stuff. All right. Like that dude's humming. Yeah, I'm humming, man. I'm humming. I ain't hummus, I'm humming. Wonk, wonk, wonk. All right. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I really did. I still do love a lot of what the British illustrators and stuff, but also the French too, man. Oh, It's weird because I have a hard time like remembering names and stuff like that. I'm really good with faces and things like that, or like if I see something. So yeah, there's some people who are just so good with remembering names. So there's various artists that I've seen and stuff, and I can look at their work and go, yeah, I know that person. But when it comes to names, I go, oh, I feel so bad. Of course, I can sit there and say Mobius, but there was a guy who did what's that book, Meta Barons? I don't know if everyone heard of Meta Barons. Anybody out there? If Nolan's around, I'm sure you heard about it. But yeah, that artwork in that was sick. It was amazing, amazing artwork. I forgot who that artist was. Really good work. All right. Just want to show like that kind of stuff. Maybe some weeds and things like that. Yeah, I learned my lesson last time. I tried to, like, I'm actually videotaping this right now using my iPhone, and I thought by putting it on horizontal I'd be able to get a more wider shot, but it tended to put the put the video like sideways and stuff. Very, very uncomfortable for people trying to view this live stream. So I learned my lesson. So I have it vertical, which is I gotta sort of move the drawing. I've also learned how to be able to have my camera down at eye level so you guys can still see stuff, but I can see if, you know, where it's positioned so you don't miss out on anything. Oh yeah, drawing all these different leaves and stuff. This is me going insane. Yeah, this is me. This is chill out Frank, just going nuts and stuff. You know, this is what the RPG companies that I worked for when I was doing RPG source book art. They love this stuff. Yeah, more detail, more detail. Oh man, we love it, we love it. And I'm like, oh, I loved it too. I mean, I'm not gonna get it wrong. You know, I love it, but oh man, you know, it's really tough. You know, I'll have to admit that when you work in advertising and you're able to make a substantial amount of money in a short amount of time with less amount of detail, it's a tough sell, man. When somebody wants you to do super detail work, but you know you're not able to financially make the level of money that you would when you're doing like less than half of what, you know. That's always a tough sell. Unless, again, if you're like super popular, if you're a really big time artist, this doesn't, you know. If you're a big time artist, then you're like, no, you know, you're definitely paid in what your level of doing detail and stuff like that. And that's understandable. They've earned it, you know. All right, there you go. All right, let me take a quick little drink some water. All right. Glad you guys are still here. 8:35, we're doing pretty good. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a super long one. All right. I'm going to hit this up with the kneaded eraser a little bit. I think it should be pretty good. I think things are pretty dry. So I'm going to go over the kneaded eraser. You know, go with it with the kneaded eraser gently. I've always used these. I mean, I have various other erasers, but I tend to like the kneaded. It's just, you know, it's a good go-to pencil lines. You know, sometimes it does pick up, sometimes the pen, depending though. I mean, it really depends on what kind of paper you're working on. Like I said, I'm one of those people where I don't mind drawing on all kind of different paper. I think every paper has a different effect on it and stuff. I know certain papers that I don't enjoy working on, but you know, if I have to. I mean, there's some, again, I mentioned last time that some sketch covers I worked on where they were atrocious. I think sketch covers, they've gotten better with the quality of paper stock for the blank covers. They've gotten better. Same thing like sketch cards too. I mean, I've worked on some sketch cards that were like horrific. It was just murder. They didn't really hold ink really well, and I had to fight through it. I look at those, you know, images that I've done, and I cringe, you know. And I truly do cringe. It's like, you know, other people may look at it and go, wow, man, I like it. And I just go, ugh. I just feel like it was not the top like level of like what I know I'm capable of doing. And that's really because of like the card stock. Just really, I was fighting the whole way with the card stock. It's funny. But I'll tell you right now, this board right here, the back of it, it's really good. It's holding really good. It has this shiny side right here, you know, of course, but boy, usually these are really good, you know. I tend to use these when I do con sketches and stuff. Oh, there's something stuck in here. Yeah, let's throw that away. I got some more kneaded erasers, but you know, I'll make sure. I will usually beat up a kneaded eraser till it's like freaking, you know, near black before I'm like, all right, you're dead. Kill me, dude. Take me out, man. Take me out. So we get a little bit of those lines out so we can see what we're working with. You know, I think I'm gonna put a little. I'm gonna break up my circle template real quick. I'm gonna throw a fat little moon in here. Is that okay? All right. Oh, that's too thin. We don't want that. I'm gonna hit it with a Sharpie. Hit it with a. Let's see. There you go. Hit it with a circle template. Boom. A little bit through the mist. All right. Let's go like that. Do a fat moon. I'm gonna draw a fat moon in there. Why not, man? Who cares? Put a fat moon in there. I don't care. All right. So then we're gonna get in there super detail. Draw some really. God, I love using the zero. Let's see, what is it? 003. Excuse me. It's just, man, you get these nice. This is where I get really crazy. Yeah, I love drawing monster stuff. I love the stuff of Bernie Wrightson. Oh, sheer genius. I've been seeing a lot of posts, man. I think Steven Niles was posting stuff. He's been posting a lot of like various really cool artwork. It's really nice. Just glad to see that, you know. I love people showcasing the old school artists that pretty much made the comic book industry, man. They really contributed a lot. I think it's important that a lot of the youngsters today get to see that kind of artwork, because I think a lot of people, and I understand a lot of younger artists and stuff were so influenced by, say, the 90s, especially if you were born during that time, and then you're coming right into the 2000s, and yeah, that's what you were, you know, sort of hit with. But see, guys like myself, you know, I was born in 1970, so I was inundated with stuff from the 60s. It's actually all the way from even from the 40s. I remember seeing comics from the 40s to the 50s, 60s, and then 70s, and then going into the 80s. So think about it. I've had like, you know, a great big span of time to really look at the industry and see artwork, just amazing different artwork, and appreciate it, you know. So when I draw, I'm like, my mindset's on that, like that kind of level, like, man, you know, from Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, that kind of thing, you know. It didn't start with me with the 90s, you know. It started a long time, you know. When I look at artwork, I see the vast span of those years. Let's see. And although the 90s did bring some amazing, there's a few in there that did some incredible stuff. There you go. All right. You know, again, I want to thank you, the folks that are checking this out, looking at it and stuff like that. You could possibly be doing anything else on this beautiful Sunday morning, but you decided to sit here and watch an old school artist doing his thing. And I really appreciate that. Thank you. And I actually do consider myself old school artist. I don't take any offense to that. You know, I'm an old school artist that has adapted my style to reflect the times. You know, I do a lot of coloring now on digital with Photoshop and stuff, clearly, but you know, I still can pull out some markers and still pull out some watercolor if I have to, you know. which I love that. I love that stuff. You know, I think it's an almost therapeutic kind of thing when you start pulling out the old school things, and yeah, it's really nice. All right, let's see. Hit with a couple of blacks and stuff. Yeah, this pen's almost, yeah, it's almost bone dry. Look at that. Let me show you right now. It's almost bone dry. So, but don't fear. I have another pen in waiting. I always try to load them up. Make sure they're loaded up and stuff. So I love this dry effect. You know, when something is dry. But actually, you know what? I'm not gonna dry it out with this one. See, this is how my brain works. Immediately I'll start working on something. Now I have these massive pens right here. All right, this is why I got my napkins right here. I'm gonna dabble my nap because these pens are pretty. These are my jacked up watercolor pens. I got other brand new set of these. These are jacked up. I fill these with ink, and they just help me create some of these really like crazy kind of dry effects and stuff, which I truly love. You know, I just come in. Sometimes they come off super wet, but that's okay. Yeah, look at that. See, bingo bangle. Look at that. Gives that nice dry effect. See if I can get a little close. Yeah, I went over a little bit. That's okay. One of the things about it, I remember my teacher was just like, dude, you can't be afraid. You just gotta just go for it. Do not be frightened. Yeah, this is like a watercolor brush. Fill it up with some ink, and yeah. But as you can see, look how frayed it is. Oh man, that's all jacked up. But I keep them, you know, because they can offer some kind of weird effect or something. You know, I get the urge, and I'm like, no, I want to add something in there. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then I use them to fill up larger spaces, so I don't have to dry out this one. And now see, I'm gonna see where my other one is, so I can. Let's see. Where are you? Oh, here you go. I found it. I'm gonna bring out pen number 2. There you go. Here's pen number 2. You can't tell the difference, can you? All right, there you go. Put a little bit of bangle in there. I'm actually gonna add some. This is like a royalty-free music that I got from YouTube. It's safe to use. So I'm gonna probably fill it up with some more stuff, some jams, different stuff. That's pretty good. It's my jam music. Hope you guys are enjoying it. All right. Whew. There you go. Look at that. That just got transformed. All right. Okay. Come in with a nice bold line. Right down the tree trunk. All right, a little plaster. There you go. I wanted to show, like, again, like, try to imagine like a piece of this ground is just like, because he's rammed so hard into the earth, like boom. So you see like the idea is that some of the roots have come out of it. So I'm probably gonna add some more, like, you get a sense that these are some roots in there and stuff. I don't know, but that's the idea, that the power of his paint just slams him in and boom. All right, let's see if I can draw a little bit of some more water. See the sense that this is water's really churned up, really worked up. Frankenstein's a really cool character. I mean, it's been so many versions. I finally got to check out Mike Mignola's Frankenstein book, man. Really cool. I mean, Mike Mignola, I mean, come on. What's there to say? What is there to really say? He's just freaking amazing. All right. I just want to tell you guys that you can view a lot of my videos on my YouTube channel. And once I've loaded this up and stuff, my YouTube channel, in which you'll see other videos similar to this one, and then just other ones where I'm just I hyperlapse the video, so it's really super fast speed drawing and stuff like that. You know, throw some music on there and just enjoy it. You know, I don't consider myself a YouTube personality. I just consider myself, excuse me, as an artist who is you know, just literally doing a virtual portfolio, you know, of my work. You know, although I must admit, being able to communicate and talk to people, it is kind of cool. I gotta admit, it definitely is something where, you know, I didn't have that when I was first starting out, which I would have loved to have had, to be able to interact with a creator or interact with an artist and talk to them and sort of pick their brains on, like, you know, how to do stuff, but just to see them, just in the process, not even the fact of even picking their brains or whatever, just be like, man, you know, like, you know, let me just see how the process of your work. I got to sit down, and one day I got to watch Alex Ross doing his stuff, and oh my God, it was incredible. It really is. He's one of my heroes. I got many of them, but boy, man, God, his work. I mean, unbelievable. All right, there you go. Whew. All right, what we got here? Distance. And we draw. What I'll do is I'll add in some foliage and stuff in the back, so we can get a sense of you know, some distance and stuff. All right, I'll play around with that some more. I'm not done with that. Yeah, I want to show that there's a little bit of land in there. Yeah. Okay. Whew. All right. And that's the whole thing. Like, when you think of composition and stuff, just be aware. You know, you're trying to tell a story, so your story has to really, you know, want to try to add as much stuff as you can in there to kind of, you know, just fill it out so that people can get somewhat of an idea of a story. Just having characters floating in empty space, and that's not really telling much of a story. Unless, again, let me just stress this, unless you're on a level of like a Frank Frazetta. If you're on a level with a Frank Frazetta, then you don't. What I'm saying is meaningless to you. You know, you have to be on that level where Frank Frazetta could literally draw a scene and nothing else around it, and it was just like, whoo, okay, all right, I see you, man, I see you, I see what you're saying. You're saying something. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And draw Got some trees up in there and stuff, you know. All right, let's see. Yo, that's coming along pretty good. What do you think? All right. Okay, let's see. Take a little swig. All right, get some coffee. Refresh the page. See what the damage is. Hope you guys aren't bored yet. Hang in there, hang in there. I'm getting close. I'm gonna actually start. Now you're gonna see me in the process of trying to create this whole new character. So we'll see. We'll see what I can do. See what I can do here. All right. All right. Okay, let's see. All right, so this character right here, the idea is that he's spying them. So, I think I'm gonna make him a little bigger. So let's see. Let's start with the question is, what up? You know, I'm almost like, I like the idea of the body kind of. Now, usually I would definitely have some reference or whatever. I like to look at reference and stuff, even though I have a rough idea. Actually, you know what? Let me see. This is what I have. I have this amazing, and I'm getting this from, what is it called? Posemuse.com, but they do Sense Shock or something. So I'm gonna see if I can see some body types in here, because I have an idea of where I want to take this, but you know, sometimes it's always good to have some level of reference, you know. And I used to fight against it before I started say like working in animation, and then really into advertising. You can't just go into advertising and somehow miraculously not use reference. There's no way. It's like you have to do it. You have to use it. Let's see if I have anything in these poses. This is actually a fun little thing because it's very quick and it gives you some rough ideas on how poses can be and stuff. I'm just trying to see if I have if they have a pose in here that's close to what I'm looking for. Sorry, just taking a few minutes. Just hanging in with me, you know. It's actually a really good book. Got a lot of good form in here. They got a lot of good stuff in here too. I'm one of the people who is a junkie for when it comes to just having different things. They got a lot of strong poses, but I need something where it has a sense of. I don't see it. Let's see. All right, this may be one time where I may have to sort of just play with it and then see if I can come up with something. All right, fair enough. I'm good. I'm confident I can come up with something. All right, so the idea is that he's sort of, this character is sort of huddled against a tree and watching the events going on. So, you know, I want to give a sense of, I don't want to call it fear, because it's not really fear, but it's just one of those things where it's like, whoa, what's going on? What's happening? This fight's going on, you know, whatever. And why are they fighting in my neck of the woods? So will I have to intervene, kind of thing? So there's this point where, you know, I want to have it like he's kind of, let's see, he's kind of braced against this. So I like the idea of like the hands, to get a sense of the hands. And I'm going to have the water kind of flowing up over here. So it's kind of these nice big, to the knuckles. Kind of like maybe gripping it, maybe, you know? Definitely webbed appendages. Okay. And then maybe smaller. So yeah, I mean, to some degree, I have a rough idea. But again, like I said, if you can use reference, you know, definitely use reference, have on the side. Not in the sense of, you know, I'm not saying a copy. I'm just saying that, you know, it's just good to use as a helpful tool, you know. Like there's got to come a point where you have to. So maybe his claws are kind of dug really deep into this. So I'm gonna have it like, because I like the idea of that root going out, but then this is kind of like mud or whatever. It's like a soft earth, you know, sinking into the water. Yeah, And you got this massive root that's kind of, you know what? I'll have the root kind of break off. You know, like I said, this is how my mind works. I kind of, you know, so just that's coming to me, and I'm going, all right. So it could be like soft earth, right? Okay. Oh, I kind of, it's almost like I want the legs, like he's almost, you know, like it's almost like the legs are kind of, you don't really see it. Like you, clearly I won't be able to put his whole body in, but maybe it's just like there's a knee, come down, calf, you know, slender kind of body, you know. And then that's the ankle, come down into the water. So it's almost like maybe there's a mound, like this mound of like, I could do like moss maybe. Like the idea of moss. I just want to have it like in the sense that its fingers are like stuck right into it, so you don't even see that it has these massive claws. I'm gonna put like some side fins on here, like on the side, kind of. You know, it just seems appropriate, you know. You know, like the idea of the side. So I'm looking at my own forearm and stuff to sort of get a sense. You know, I like the idea that's really pointy right there. And then lay the muscle down in there. I like the idea of the shoulders being really massive. Yeah, I like that. Massive shoulders. So it's kind of like the idea of maybe it's like almost a shoulder pencil, it's maybe like this hardened, you know, like this isn't truly an original, you know, like I've seen a lot of characters with this kind of hardened kind of thing, but yeah, you know, I like it. It's almost like ridged. This is what concept is about, you know. You start just going crazy and seeing what you come up with. So he has like this kind of hard metal kind of thing going on here. I like the idea of scales. Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of scales. Yeah. Okay. And then it's just like, it's like, oh man. But I like the idea like of, and since these guys don't have irises, I'm not going to give it irises. I'm going to give it like this weird sunken, so it's kind of sunken eyes, massive brow maybe. Let's see what this takes us, man, you know? Massive brow, kind of go in, maybe. High cheekbone. I want to make it look somewhat like the Gill Man, where it's like the thick lips. Okay, so I have like his grit in his teeth. He's like, what's going on here? You know, what's happening? I really like the idea of a long neck. Let's see. Okay, drawing it out there. I like the idea that maybe I'm gonna do something a little different. Or maybe, you know what? Why don't we do this? I kind of like the idea that what's those anglerfish? Anglerfish have those. Like he almost has these appendages that kind of. So it could help to lure like small fish to its mouth, maybe. It's sharp teeth and stuff, so it's a great way to lure small fish. to his mouth, maybe. Yeah, I like that. It gives it, you know, maybe I'll give it another one. And then it's like these weird tentacles and it just kind of, okay. Yeah, it looks weird. All right. So we'll stretch that. So he has these, let's see, I don't like that. Let's go like that, a little bit up. Maybe change the frame of the bridge. Maybe have it more like a hawk kind of thing, yeah. Let's try that. Let's see. Powerful jaw. I like the idea that it has like this hard, like almost like cranium kind of thing. Like it's really sunk, like the eyes are really sunken back. Thinking almost like a shark kind of. Maybe it's bigger, the eyes are bigger, yeah. Yeah, there you go, it's way too small. All right, so let's see. If that's the neck, then it's kind of, and he has like a, and then you have like this thing right here that sort of connects. Yeah. So I like that. Yeah, maybe it stops right here, and then the chest is a separate thing too. And then the chest is like this hard kind of, you know, exoskeleton muscle or whatever. Excuse me, shelling. Yeah, just thinking out loud. Okay. Kind of like the idea of maybe lining. Maybe lining that out too. Why not? You know, see what happens. Yeah, so it's almost like you're sitting on a thing of moss and it's kind of watching while this is going on, like, oh my God, you know? So then, yeah, do that, add a little more, like the idea of like it's just this heavy plated kind of, All right, now this tree's gonna be very old, very barky kind of thing. All right, what do you think? Oh, so this is our new guy that I'm adding in here, and as you can see, I just sort of came up with this guy. Just I like the idea of a sunken. I like the sunken eye kind of thing, and then it's like this plating. Yeah, maybe I'll add something else in there. Yeah. Oh my God, I feel like what's those characters from Kong? The skull crushers, skull eaters. Yeah, I like that. You know. Maybe break it up a little bit. So it's kind of. There's a part of me where I just want to maybe get rid of this nose. It's really bothering me. Yeah, so then it's like these slits. Yeah, so then he has these lips. Yeah, I like that. And then he has these things coming out. All right, I'm digging it. I think I can work with this. All right, let's see what we can do with this. All right. First off, everyone, thank you for hanging in there. Still, what time is it now? It is 9:07. Doing really good, making great progress. I'm gonna pull this artwork over here. I'm glad I can look at it because, you know. So there we go. All right. I think I'm gonna add some weird tribal markings on this too. But yeah, I'm gonna do some cracks in it and stuff. My thought is that maybe with this particular creature, it's like, cause these are eyes too. So maybe it has like, I don't know, like maybe this is just as bony. I love the skull crushers or whatever, skull eaters, skull crawlers, I think. That's what they're called on Kong. And I love that they have like that skull armor over their head and stuff, plating. So I'll borrow that. I'll make this a little, not too clean, kind of break it up a little bit. It's kind of cracks and stuff in it. I think that'd be kind of interesting. And then what I'll do is it grows out into that, right? Let's do that. Yeah. Okay. All right. This is pretty much Frankie B, and this is my pretty much just sketching day. You know, I've done a couple of big ones and stuff, and I've been working on some commissions over the week. You know, really loving it, getting to get back into doing some sketch type commissions, which are really fun. I mean, I love them, you know, because it's interesting to see the stuff that people come up with that they want me to draw. You know, it's like stuff that I would never ever think of doing, and they come up and do it. And you know, because it's, you know, for me, my mindset's like, if it's a gig, a job, then you know, I'm forced to do it. Like I'm like, yeah, I have no excuse. More so than if I had to just out of my mind, just nothing to do, be like, oh, I'm just gonna draw. Like I wouldn't draw that. You know, that's just how it is. My frame of mind is so hardwired with the whole sense of work and stuff like that. It's so ingrained in me. Okay, so we'll draw these nice sharp teeth. And then you got like these little slits right here. Yeah, I'm gonna draw like two. And then you got these eyes. Alright, so I'm gonna add, let me get the old trusty Pentel. Alright. Alright. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, excuse me. I'm really having a ball, and I really appreciate the fact that you're taking the time to check out my work. Yeah, I'm available on, you can check me out on Twitter, Instagram, of course, Facebook, and yeah, just pretty much Frankie B Washington. You know, keep it simple. Frankie B Washington, just do a search and I'll pop up. Oops, sorry for the shaking going on my camera. All right, let's see. And then have those lights, like it just makes sense to me. Like you'd have these little lights at the end, so that, you know, as soon as the fish gets close, it can just eat them. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip over here real quick. Oh, Frankie, look at that. Add some That's pretty crazy. All right, let's see. And then we have the other. So he has like a fin on his neck, driving down. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go with fins. Now, I really love how they did Godzilla's fins, 2014. Nice bridges. I really like that. That was really cool. And that's technically how the normal fish. It's kind of. So I guess I'll go that route. And, so it has like this. All right. Feel free to share the post too. You know, if you really feel like there's people who might dig this and whatever, learn from it. Yeah, much appreciated. Let's see. All right, I'm going to, okay, I'm going to do some little moving around here, if you guys don't mind, but this guy needs a little love over here, just the neck muscles. Let's see. Gently, just kind of hit it on the sides, man, you know. Okay, that didn't take too long, did it? All right, let's see. Let's get in here. It's for those nice, bigger, darker areas. Okay. All right, we're gonna give a little boldness to that neck, so we get to see that that is a neck and stuff. So, all right, let's see. And I'm gonna draw his chest plate. A little bit bend right there, and then come in so you can see a little bit. So you can see that it's definitely wide. Okay. Then oh, it takes a gentle hand. Gotta say that. It takes a very gentle hand. A couple little taps. So I'm probably gonna go with some cross hatching on this with the 003. So that should be pretty cool. That'll look really nice effect. It's a nice thin. The lines are so small and stuff, so it really gives a nice effect. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna probably put a little bit more darkness over there because I want to give a sense of shadows. So actually, let me enhance on that a little bit more. It's almost going in shadows over here. Yeah, and that's just one of those last minute things that come prop up in your head and you go, yeah, I want to have it like on that side. It would be my the right hand side, it's all like cast in darkness and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna do that again, that effect, but I'm gonna drag this out a little more. And again, it's like, no fear, man, just get in there. You know, and then it's gonna be that tree trunk, part of the tree. So this is a massive tree. So I gotta do some line work in there. But pretty much what I'm talking about is, yeah, and I'll just draw some, so we get his little neck muscles and stuff in there. But yeah. Let's see. All right, I'm getting very happy how you look. Coming along really good. There's always that little fear that it's like, oh man, I'm on live stream, and all of a sudden it's like I start making the same amount of mistakes and just, I can't do it anymore. Nah, I don't have those kind of fits. Not anymore. I had them probably when I was in high school, when I was in my 20s. You know, in your 20s, it's like everything became so personal. You take everything personal. And then as you get older, you just learn, it's like, man, this is life. And, you know, it's all about keeping your boat, you know, on the ocean. Hope, you know, making sure that it doesn't sink. That's where my frame of mind is. So I can make it to the next island and the next island and on and so forth. Yeah, we get some supplies, move on to the next one. It's all about really surviving. How can you survive? Do you have what it takes to survive? All right, I'm gonna put this foot, this is gonna be in the forefront. I'm gonna put that right there, and then throw some water around it and stuff. So give an indication of the toes and stuff. So it's like a web foot kinda. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. There you go. I think I'm gonna cover that in black too. There you go. All right, not bad, not bad. Very happy, very happy. All right, and I'm not gonna wait. I'm just gonna go ahead with this, and let's see. I'm going to add 920. Woo! All right, making good time. So this is my 003, and I'm just gonna come in here. This is really thin Micron pen. So you come in here and you do these. So small. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, God, I keep forgetting I have to drag this over here. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. There. Oh, man, I'm so glad I got this camera, my phone angled just right so I could see. Because then technically you would just be hearing me talking and, you know, and seeing I'm not working on this side, I'll be focused more on that side looking instead of this side. Yeah, actually I think I'm gonna cross it. Get it look a lot better. Again, just nice thin lines, be confident, don't be afraid, just go ahead and just do it. Yeah, these are much more lighter. Am I looking at the depth throws of this pen? Yes, like you. Are you hurting? All right, let's see. See if I got another one. All right, let's pull this one out. Just like the lines got lighter and lighter. I was like, okay, maybe time to mix it up, man. put a little pressure on there. There you go. Dig it in there. Get that ink in that paper. All right. And then you go again. The thing about cross hatching is that it's just a constant buildup. You can do a lot of cool things with cross hatching. Use a technique where you squint your eyes to see the degree of the variation of the tonal effect. So that's an old school technique where you just kind of squint your eyes and you can see. So from really dark to, you know, whatever range you're searching for. I kind of just go in, I just keep going. So I'm almost black, but not black. So it's almost like you get this nice little fade. All right. It's funny because I usually never really like go crazy with drawings that are so intense and stuff. But you know, today I just felt the urge to want to really make this piece. Oh, you know what? I screwed up. This is what happens. Originally, I had an idea of doing 2 tentacles on the side, but you know, I just drew these one, so I don't know. And it's okay. What I'll do is I'll do something weird right there, some kind of weird design. Yeah, 2's fine. I'm good. This is what happens. Okay, but I am gonna keep that hard, bony kind of shoulder plate thing right here. So like some cracks, like some wear and stuff. And then yeah, I think I'm gonna break out the Pentel brush on this one. Take a little coffee. Okay, hope you guys can see that. You know what? I'm just gonna make that all black over there. It just looks weird. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a little bit of love. Let's see. Okay, hit it there. Then I'm gonna get some little black up in there. All right, put that over there. Oh, let's see. Yeah, there you go. It's always good to have that day where you're just jamming out and you know, you're just drawing craziness, you know. This brings back memories when I was a kid and used to draw all kind of weird stuff. I didn't care. I would watch PBS Wild World of Animals. Was it Wild World of Animals? And all of a sudden I'll see a creature on there and I'll be like, oh my God, I want to draw that creature, you know. And then I would mix it with something else and be like, oh my God, this would be so cool if it was alive, which would be kind of horrifying. All right. those. Oh, whoa. Oh man. I didn't plan on that. I actually end up giving him like, so he's gonna have like 5 fingers and a thumb. Oh man, I did not plan on that, but you know, I got lost there for a second and I zoned out. So I guess this character's gonna get like 5 fingers and a thumb. I love it. It's cool. Whatever, you know. This is have fun. No worries. It's like almost like a posing finger coming out of it. I think that's pretty cool. I think about it. I actually like that. Let me just draw that. That's kind of. And then thinking that this is like sort of like moss or something. So, patch with all these weird plants and stuff on it. Yeah, just. Hey Rob, what's going on, man? Thanks, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for dropping in too, man. Much love. Hope you guys can see it and stuff. Yeah, I explained earlier how like the first time I started doing these, I thought that I'm shooting this on my iPhone, and I had it horizontal, and all of a sudden I noticed I happened to just check, and it was like, oh man, it was, you know, it just wasn't pleasant to watch. So then I had to kill that first one and then start all over again, which was really, you know, discerning to some earlier on people who had been commenting and stuff. So I had to sort of, you know, like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, it just was one of those mistakes, just learning, you know, it happens. But people were pretty understanding about it. But I was like, okay, now I got to do this. Make sure I have everything vertical. So the idea, the consensus is that this creature is watching. I'll give you guys a quick preview. People just dropped in. I started this piece last Saturday before I was going to appear on the Alterna in-demand wrap-up party that they had on YouTube. And what happened was before I came on, I decided to start this sketch. And it just was just me just playing around, just having fun and whatever. And I just had this idea of Frankenstein. And then I had the crazy idea of a wolfman. I always had this idea of a wolfman with dreadlocks. And so the piece just started sort of forming and stuff. And then, you know, after, you know, once I came on, I sort of put it aside. But then earlier this week, I started thinking, I said, oh man, I want to do another draw stream on Facebook. So I sat back and said, oh man, you know, people have been seeing me do these really big ones. I did that, Call All Robots. And then I did, hey Rob, another Rob coming in. What's happening, man? I did that Calling All Robots, and then I did a big Shogun Warrior Inhumanoids piece. And God, what was the other one? Oh, the Godzilla G14 meets Godzilla Marvel, the Marvel Godzilla. So those are pretty big ones. Those are really big live drawings. But this time around, I'm always a big fan of the process of art, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting if people could just see me in one of my states of just having fun, just sort of taking something where it's just, there's no real strong thought behind it. I just, the early stages are just me just drawing and just going with it, and no care in the world. I don't care. Whatever happens, happens kind of mentality. That's one of the things that I had, one of my mentors and teachers would always instruct me to, they'll say, Frank, there's a point where you just kind of, you got to try to reach back into that subconscious when you were a child and how you didn't have a care. I mean, even though I've been working in the art industry for over 30 years, there's those times where I need to take a step back and kind of get in touch with the child inside of me, and not look at artwork as in a sense of always a job, where sometimes I can just look at it and just have that fun of just creating bizarre things or scenarios like this. Like there's still, it's funny because I think when I was younger, I would just draw a character, like I see a lot of people and they just draw a character and there's no, just a character, there's no real story to it. But you can see the fusion of where, for me, because I've been working in the field for so long, that I can't just create just a character without applying some level of a story to it. So there's my middle ground where I'll still, I can sit here and I can have fun with this, but I have to have a story. I have to have something that goes along with this that can, round it out a little bit. I just feel like it would be cheating the viewers, and I don't want people to be, to feel like they're just seeing, like if I just drew this guy hovering in the sky and there's nothing else around here to tell anything, it's just, I think that it's important that you should be able to tell a story. And I blame Frank Frazetta for that. I love Frank Frazetta's work, and I felt like he definitely did that kind of artwork where it told stories. I mean, he could just do just one image of art, and it's just like you feel like you're looking at something pretty epic that's going on. It's literally left to you to kind of build up on it. You can look at it and go, man, this dude's sitting on his throne, and he's looking at a skull, and he's just like, like he just came from a battle, or he's at the end of his life or whatever. Who knows? But I mean, those are the cool things, aspects of it. I love creating scenes. I love just things like that where it's forcing me to sort of think through it. So there's a compromise. So I still have the childlike fun of creating bizarre characters, like this character right here, where I mistakenly added 5 fingers instead of 4. But now I'm like, oh, I like that. I kind of like that. It makes it very, very alienish, very creature-ish. Why not? Nature is very interesting and fascinating, and the attributes that they apply to different creatures is always amazed me. And again, once again, I based a lot of these characters off of the characters that I love, monsters, classic monsters. The Wolfman, Frankenstein, and then the Gill Man. I really love the Gill Man. So this is what this is kind of like based off of. In this kind of scenario, you get the Gill Man kind of watching what's going on behind a massive tree while Frankenstein and the Wolfman are fighting. And even though it looks like, Frankenstein has the upper hand, if I was to illustrate something like this, I'm all about like making sure that if someone's gonna see a battle scene, it's got to be something where it's really played out. I don't look at Frankenstein because he's bigger and say, okay, he clearly is gonna be the winner. I don't know who's gonna be the winner. I really don't. I think that that's something where you have to sit down and you got to really start to illustrate it out. And when I say illustrate it, really illustrate it. Like for something, if I was to illustrate this scene, it would be me researching fighting styles, looking at angles, playing around with the camera, because I want to be able to really utilize, like I love werewolves, and I want, hey hon, glad you made it, love you. I want a character like the Wolfman to have his due too, The Wolfman's a pretty powerful creature. I tell you, the movie that I really love is the Benicio del Toro Wolfman. That I know a lot of people didn't, whatever case didn't get it. I loved it. It was the first time where I really felt they really laid out the power of the Wolfman, like the sheer strength. Like during that time, like it shows scenes where he knocked over carriages and like he's running. Like I think he was running like what 30, 40 miles per hour. I mean, that's superhuman speeds. That's like, you know, that's pretty fast, and he was really strong. And I'm like, wow, man, it was like that. It was exhilarating to see that. I was like, whoa, the sheer power. So I mean, you think about it, like the Wolfman can throw down. Plus, he has a healing factor. So if the Wolfman was to fight against King Kong, it would be a serious fight. Honestly, I think that if I was to draw this out as a fight, it would be more of like a tie, pretty much, because I could see this version of Frankenstein. My Frankenstein has like this big robot arm right here, and I'm gonna probably draw some more stuff on there too. But most likely to be him. And this is crazy and pretty gross, but he would probably tear an arm off, a limb off, or something off of the Wolfman, and the Wolfman in turn would probably just run away from the sheer shock and pain of it, and then he'll just have to grow another arm. I would put it like his healing factor would have to, kick in, and he have to grow another arm. I like the idea of a Wolfman probably hibernating too. I like the idea, like he just kind of hibernates, like he would just, it wouldn't be like he would just change and then he goes back to human form. It'd be more like he would just go into this for something that radical, like if he got like a limb torn off. Because I remember in Monster Squad, it was very quick. I think the Wolfman kind of came back together really quick. But I would have it like it's a process where it's like, it takes all of his energy to kind of have restoration, regeneration, excuse me. All right, so pretty much I'm doing the roots of this tree. And the idea is, if you can see from it, is that Frankenstein has slammed Wolfman so hard into the earth that it's literally torn out. Like you see rocks and debris and stuff, and then it's tree roots and everything. And this is near a body of water, so I'm assuming like a river, stream, a small lake or something, but definitely close to the shore. And you got some foliage and stuff like that. And while that's going on, you got in the foreground, right here in the foreground, right here, you have my version of the Gill Man, who's been sort of watching the scenario. He's been disturbed by everything that's going on. He's watching these two going at it. And it's just sort of like, waiting to see whether or not it's going to have to jump in to join the fray. And we just don't know. And the thing is that I wanted to show my Gill Man being, pretty, looks pretty strong, He has body armor. I like the idea of having like a hardened chest plate and stuff like that. All right. I feel like I'm entering into that Mike Zully kind of phase of it's like super detailed stuff. Just adding in there, just like filling up space. I will say that I really enjoy drawing much smaller over the years. I would say officially that's what I like doing. Even though, when I do those big 11 by 17 pieces, they're one-offs. In my mind, those are just one-offs, like, but, when I do comic book work, I love drawing smaller, like almost manga size. I just find it much more easier. All right, let's see what we got here. Some more of that moss. I'm gonna do one of was it Chris Bakula? He used to draw like a lot of mushrooms. I'm gonna draw like few little mushrooms sticking out. Why not? Why not, man? Yeah, I love that. Was it Chris Bakula? He used to do the New Mutants and stuff. I think he put turtles in his stuff too, if I remember. I love that stuff. I love when artists do stuff like that. Just add a little piece of themselves in it. All right, let's see. Yeah, I put a little bit of. Oh, you know what? I gotta put my name in here. All right, so sign it, Frankie B. You guys, I always try to sneak my name somewhere in it. I remember when I was doing the card set for Colossal Kaiju Combat, and the first couple of cards I started doing it, and I would sneak my name into different things, and then it turned into this sort of gag, And I remember once Simon Strange actually contacted me. He's like, "Hey, did you sign this?" He's like, "I can't find your name." I was like, "Yeah, man, it's hidden in there. You gotta find it." Yeah. So yeah, so some people like that too, when they can sort of look for people's names, the artist's name. I tell any artist out there, sign your work. And I mean, sign your name on it. I'm so people can know who it is. It's unless you're like super super famous and you can and people know you by a symbol or whatever, and it's like, okay, that person did it. But I'm always like, as a collector too, I think it's important that you sign your name and date it. So again, it gives a sense of reference of when it was made. You know, that's just me. That's one of my little sticklers. I'm all about signing it and dating it. All right. Whew. What time is it? It's 9:43. Not bad. But you know what? I'm still not done because I gotta still do his scales. So here, let me get a drink of water and stuff. I hope everyone is still there. I'm gonna slide this over a little bit so you guys can see the full shot. Let me see. Actually, let me measure this. This is actually a comic book board. This is something that I would usually do if I was at a con or something, which I haven't gone to a lot of cons and stuff in a long time. But you measure it. It's roughly, it's roughly a little over. No, it's about 7 by 7 and 10 and a half, maybe. Yeah, well, 7. I would say roughly 7 and 10 and a half, give or take. And it holds art pretty good. I mean, you get lucky sometimes. I mean, there's some where they've been very slick, and those can be nightmares. But this one's really good. So this is pretty much just, I know a lot of people that tend to draw on these comic book boards, and they're sturdy too. And what's great is that they fit inside the comic book sleeves and stuff, which is really great. I mean, I would not be able to do if I was at a con. Excuse me, let me bring this back over here. You guys are missing all the good stuff. Clearly, I would not be able to do this level of work at a con. It's funny. I was Jess, and Jess, she would come with me and stuff. She's more of my handler. Most times when I'm at cons, people will just, they're talking to me and stuff like that, and which is great. I mean, as you can tell, I'm a person, I love talking to people and stuff. But also, I'm drawing too. Like, I'll get commissions, and so I'm trying to navigate those waters of, communicating with people, and then also doing the artwork. But there's no way I could be able to do something of this level at a con. No, this would be something like a month ahead or whatever. I would be like, hey, can you just commission me for one and come to the show and pick it up? And definitely it wouldn't be like con price. Yeah, this is a whole level of detail at a whole nother level. And I would expect the person who would commission me for it to understand that too. It's only fair. I think one of the key things for any artist out there is like you raggle the whole navigate those waters of pricing with people. And the thing is that for me, it's like I've had the chance to work with corporations and companies and stuff, which is really cool. It's really nice because usually with companies and corporations, you really don't have to really do too much finagling with. They kind of hear you out and they'll go, okay, well, this is what we'll do. In most cases they'll give you what your asking price is. So there's no really, it's been rare that I've ever had to have problems with a company. But it's a whole different animal when you're dealing with private commissions and things like that. So I try to be mindful of that. And I'm open to working with people, but there's a point where it's like, I have to walk away and feel comfortable because this is a lot of work. It takes time. But I've been very fortunate. The clients that I've had have been really, really great. Knock on wood. I see, and I read and see horror stories about things that happen with people with their experiences with various artists, and even with clients too. And it's just sad. It's just I don't know. How do we work with that? I think it all comes down to communication and also being realistic. I'll be honest with you. I think many times people don't have a strong grasp on what it takes to do stuff and the levels of what the intention of work is going to be. you know. And the thing is that I always say do your homework. You know, you can always tell somebody who has worked with creative people, because most cases they'll never really truly finagle with you when it comes down to cost. They'll be more realistic with you. You can negotiate with them, and it's a good experience because they have an understanding. But if somebody doesn't, and you know, then it's going to be really tough. Their expectations would be much more than what they're capable of paying for the artist. So I always say that sometimes it's best to do your homework. Even as somebody, you know, I'm a person I've commissioned artists in the past, and I've always gone by the model that if I truly don't have the budget to do it, then I just won't contact that artist, because I just think that, you know, that artist probably is very busy, most likely, and that they, you know, they don't need me contacting them and reaching out to them and, you know, having this expectation for something that I can't give them. So it's just food for thought on that one, you know. Got to put it out there. You know, I'm all, you know, one of the things about it is I try to keep things real, you know. I think that, you know, business doesn't have to be a scary thing. Finances and stuff like that don't have to be scary. I think people make it scary. You know, I think that if you walk into it and you educate yourself to it, I think you can do really good. You know, I've been in it for 30 years. And do I have horror stories? Sure, I think every artist has some level of horror stories, but not enough to be like, oh yeah, you know, I never want to do art ever again. I mean, this is my life. This is my livelihood. This is my career. You know, I'm in it. You know, there's no turning back for me. You know, I'm like the mechanic. You know, I would never, when I go to my mechanic, I don't look at my mechanic and go, yo man, is this it for you? It's never crossed my mind. They always are like, all right, Frank, here we go. I'm gonna throw this work on this piece for you. And so that's the same way I look at it, you know. I'm in it. So I think the thing about it, next time if you think about trying to commission an artist, just make sure that that you have an understanding. Like, you make sure that your budget is strong enough to maybe you know, and make sure that you have a plan, you know, laid out for commissioning said artists or artists. It just helps you more in the end. You don't have to, you know, deal with, you know, and hopefully you don't run into any horror stories. You know. There you go. There you go. All right. God, look at this guy. There you go. You guys can still see this, hopefully. Okay. All right. I'll treat this like some kind of tattoo kind of thing. So it's like white kind of. There you go. Crazy, man, crazy. And it has some little cracks in there. There you go. All right. All right, let's do this. Whew, man. Yeah, I'm going crazy. This is me going insane. Starting adding all that extra little stuff in there. It's like, dude, I don't know, it's so unnecessary. I want to just add little cracks and stuff. I'm one of those people where I love characters that look like they've been weathered and all this stuff. You know, let me just pull it over on the side for you. Yeah, I like it when armor is just beaten and little cracks in there. Wow. All right. What time is it? 9:52. Oh man, I'm killing it. Maybe as a treat, I'll show you guys some of my let me see if I remember it. Maybe my trading cards. Maybe today I'll show you some of my trading cards. I don't know if you guys would be interested in seeing that, but oh man, this is coming along really good. Really happy with this. You never know. Like again, I never know when I start. I'm just like, you know, let me put this over here. Okay. Do a classic like Jim Lee and those cats used to do. And do the little shading going fading down, which is a cool effect though. It's a good, you know. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It definitely, you know, the key thing is like trying to give depth to something. So if I got this forest, you know, I want to draw some images and stuff, and then you get further back, and you kind of just, you know. I think this pen is about close to dying here. All right. Whew. All right. Let me just clean that up, strengthen that line up a little bit. All right, let's see what I'm doing. I want to add a little bit more wires and stuff in here. Sticking that out. Let's see how to draw that. Got some stuff in there. Come on. Just draw a little couple of rivets. I think I'm gonna draw this all dark right now. Yeah. Yeah, that looks much more ferocious. It's just like, oh, pound your head in the butter, man. The butter. All right, draw that in there. You guys can see that, okay? All right, draw a couple of little. Always helps when he has a couple of little veins going all over the place. All right. God, I feel like I might have shown you guys some my my cards. Trying to think what else I could. Huh. Well, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I think I might have shown you like my sketch cards, but I didn't show you like my cards from Kaiju Combat that I received. And I think I showed you. I think my patchwork that I did. think that's it. Whoa. All right. I don't know. I think I'm gonna bless it. Oh no, I can't. I can't. Nope. I'm not done yet. Not done. All right. I'll put some stars in the sky. Yeah, this thing's almost dry out, but I'm gonna use my white gel pen and put some stars up in here. I love just controlling like a couple of dabbles of stars and stuff in there. Oh God, it's so weird. Like I got to keep sliding this so horizontal. Oh, it's crappy. You used to it, kind of like rising up. All right. I'm gonna reach into my portfolio and show you guys some of my. But I think officially, I think I'm good. I was able to wrap this up. Let's see, at 10 o'clock. Yeah, great. So, okay, I'm very happy. Hope you guys have enjoyed it and stuff. And there you go. And then I can, yeah, it's so sorry. Let's see. I'll see if I can pull the camera back a little bit, just a little. Oh, I don't know if you guys can, like looking at it kind of weird, but it looks kind of weird. Okay. Sorry about that, but there you go. So maybe you get a better sense of the full piece. I can slowly see it, but here I'll just leave it like this a little bit, and then I'll get my cards. All right. Woo. All right. All my stuff is like buried, so I'm gonna grab. I have a couple of books filled with card art. All right, so one. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. All right, guys. So glad you didn't leave just yet. So I'm gonna see if I can fix the camera a little bit down a little bit. All right, put it down a little bit. There you go. This arm is amazing because you can kind of sculpt it the way you want it to. But anyway, this is the piece. Again, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching me finally draw this piece up. And then what I'll do is I'll erase it and stuff. I'm gonna give the ink a little bit of resting time and stuff, and then I'll come in and clean up with the needed eraser, and then put this baby to bed. And also I have to date it, so on the back I'll have it dated and stuff. Completed today. So all right. So just for an extra treat, I'm gonna break out some of my books, my collector albums, which contain card art that I did over the years. So I have approximately 5 of these. Oh, sorry, nope. Take that one out. Let's see. I have 4 of these. I have 4 of these collector albums, and they contain around 4 cards each. So here we go, really quick. This is the cards that I did for Colossal Kaiju Combat years ago. So here you go. And I actually did the card art for these. And you know what? I'm not going to show them all because it's going to take up so much time, but there's 4 of these books like this. So there you go. and I did all of the art actually. Yeah, the colors and everything. I mean, this was really a joy to work on. You know, and these characters, I don't own any rights to any of these characters. These characters were supplied by the fandom through Colossal Kachi Combat. They hired me to technically take the concepts that were already done by the people, the fans, the creators, and then just apply my style to it and draw them out in card form. So yeah, I did these. On this next page, I did not do these. These were other artists that came in that they brought to do some other cards, different styles and stuff, which was great. It was a smart move. They brought in different other artists. And there you go. I did these two on the bottom, but someone else did these two on the top. So I did a bunch of these, yeah. And I think a lot of people know me, know my work from this, especially people in the Kaiju fandom. A lot of cards. Like I said, 4 of these. I feel like I'm happy to say the estimated number of cards that I did is up in the high 300, possibly a little bit over 300. And as you can see, you know, I'm one of those people where I love doing scenes and stuff. I just feel like if you're gonna get card art or anything like that, there should be some kind of scenario going on where you can really enjoy it. I love this one. I like that the sub and he's sort of looking back and stuff. I really try to work on telling a story with my artwork. You know, it's in my mind, I'm always feeling like you're capturing this moment. You know, some of these characters are freaking bizarre. These character Mecha Lipstick. Yeah, it's crazy. And then I got like this mime that's freaking out seeing the Eiffel Tower getting blown apart. And then you got characters like this, very silent, you know, just sort of stalking, you know, just walking around at night. And yeah, there's definitely some interesting characters. I really, you know, there was always a challenge working on other people's stuff. Got to work on some really cool mech designs, really cool. And just overall, you know, no complaint on any of these. The people that created these characters, it was mind-boggling. Look at that. It's funny because I kind of, you know, I put these away and I don't really look at them too much. But then these rare occasions when I do, it brings everything back to me. All right, I'll break out one more. All right, actually, here you go. This is actually a good one. It's a different change. These are the cards that I did for BotCon. And this is my last card right here that I did, which is amazing. I love it. I love that I had the chance to do the, you know, from the animated movie. And this was the first card that I was hired to do. And then, and actually, these were my most earliest cards. I think those are like 2012. I did not color these. I can't think of the person. I want to say Josh Perez might have colored these two, but I did the artwork. And then if you really want to go back, I'll take you guys back. Let's see. I did some artwork for the Vortex games. Oh, look at this. These are the Vortex games, as you can see. And this is my artwork for Fantasy Flight games. Yeah, there you go. I go up close and stuff. And then, yeah, Vortex. So, yeah, this is me. I did those. So those are pretty cool. I found those too. It's weird. I had them like in a book. It's always nice to get comp copies of stuff. I think it's actually important if artists work on something that I just think it's right that they should get some kind of comp copy. I don't think you need to go out and sell it or whatever, which I don't. I keep my stuff. But if you get comp copies and stuff, you know, it's important to have so that you have these moments where I can share it with other people to see the work that I've done. You know, it was a really good card set, man. Look at the colors, vibrant. Very vibrant work. It's crazy. The amount of characters. The scenarios, the color schemes. I mean, I look at this now and I just go, man, what was I was really dialed in. I think I was at that point, and mind you, I was working on other jobs outside of this. So, you know, while this was going on, I had like 4 or 5 other gigs that were happening. But I was so dialed in. I'm such a, you know, I'm so passionate about the genre and the fact that when I see people just trying to get stuff out there to the masses, to respect this genre that I'm so passionate about, you know, I was like, you know, I guess I'm not going to be having some sleep. I'm going to have some sleepless nights. So, yeah, I like this one. I started playing around with putting actual images, like real life images in the pictures and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. And, you know, again, those weird things where I experiment with stuff and see what happens. But genuinely, I mean, I love all the cards that came out of here. I think that each card holds on its own. Sorry about the glare. Let me see if I can get rid of it. There you go. But each one of these cards hold on their own, in my opinion. There you go. I actually like this one a lot. Yeah, it's like fear. You know. And it's funny because many times the Simon Strange would, you know, he would have an idea. He'll write down some notes or whatever, and then I would just sort of take, you know, go crazy and come up with these scenarios and stuff. You know, it's like I try to imagine like how Jack Kirby must have been with Stan Lee, where he just like, okay, all right, thanks, and then like, all right, let's see what happens. Like I said, look at the range of characters I was drawing. Each one different, each scenario different. Yeah. I forgot who did this. These are nice. Look at these. These are really nice. I forgot the artist that worked on these. Hopefully someone will see this and maybe he'll see it, or she will see it and chime in. But I did that one. That's Durantis. That's fun. Was it Tyler? I'm trying to think. Was it Tyler? Tyler Whitman? I don't know if Tyler did these. It looks almost like his work. Yeah. It looks almost like it. Really nice. And that's it. There you go. And that's the back of the cards. Colossal Kaiji Combat. All right. So, hey, I'd like to thank everyone for another fantastic draw stream, and keep your eyes open. There will be more draw streams in the future. My YouTube page is pretty much my name, Frankie B. Washington, and also Twitter, Frankie B. Washington, and Instagram, Frankie B. Washington, and I'm surprisingly on Tumblr as well. Haven't been on Tumblr in a long time, but I think I'll get back on Tumblr as well. So again, Frankie B. Washington, and of course on Facebook. As always, keep the creativity strong, and the art must flow. Peace.